Welcome back to Everyone Needs an Aquarius. We are back in the building. Dom, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain, man.
Yeah, I can't. It's just a
Well,
bit.
this is a special episode. So later on in the show, we'll be having Love, Peace, and Spades, as we did an interview with them. Originally supposed to come out a few weeks ago, but with the fires, we decided to move it around. So we'll, in the middle of the show, we'll have that and talk to them, discuss with those brothers, which we had a dope time with them. So we'll be discussing and talking with them. But Dom, let's for 2-3 minutes. Let's talk about this new Diddy documentary on HBO just for 2-3 minutes before we go into other topics.
Okay.
Hey man, is he a super villain?
Nigga.
Like for real. Like before we've joked about it, but now we might need to take the jokes off of it and really call him a super villain.
Or does his villain origin story actually start with his mother?
Or does it start with his dad dying like with Batman? With his parents dying.
Well, that wouldn't be Batman. But Batman isn't the villain.
Right, but that's the reason Batman became Batman. Well, some people call Batman a villain, depending on what you look at, the way you look at it.
Okay.
He beats up on poor and disfranchised people.
Hey. It's because I said that, we did a live, and if you guys didn't get a chance to see it, we did a live because Peacock dropped their Diddy documentary last week. And so we discussed it, but now Max has released one, which is like a little more intricate detailing in certain areas where the last documentary kind of just glazed over certain points. This has 2 episodes. I don't know. Do we know if it's going to be any more after that? I don't know.
No, it's 3. It's the third one on there.
Oh, I only saw 2.
Okay. Yeah, it started going to the next one, number 3, when I was getting ready when I started opening Xander their homework.
Okay, so but one of the things that I said was, sometimes parents are always gonna make some sort of an impact on you, whether it be positive or negative. And one of the things that we learned in the Peacock documentary from his, his homeboy that lived with them growing up and was living with them at a very young age. I think he said they moved in when they were like 6. And then he didn't have siblings.
Diddy didn't have no siblings.
They didn't have any, so they were like siblings. They were like brothers, normal in the Black community. And he was saying how on the weekends, their house would be the turn-up spot. He said it was normal for them to walk into a room and it's somebody having some sort of sexual encounter, drugs, whatever. That was normal for them. And so I wonder, I mentioned last week, I said, no one ever talks about kind of inserting Janice into it, but you also kind of laid the foundation for a lot of the stuff that he was doing, more so in particular at these parties. You know what I mean? Because that was his normal life. So that was normalized to him.
Having a bunch of people at the crib kicking it.
Right. I'm not giving Diddy a pass. I'm just giving y'all insight.
This was interesting because they backed away from a lot of this one. And I get it. You can't do it the way you would want, the way I would want to do one, because you can get in trouble. Because they didn't bring up none of the Pac stuff, alleged Pac stuff. They did. Neither one of them. These did. They really, both of them really glossed over Biggie's passing. It is just, and maybe they will go back to it in this other one on Max, but they feel like they kind of been glossing over. And like I said, you can't really talk about it as much because it's not necessarily. It's more hood news instead of.
Yeah, it's not necessarily factual, because
and in this one they didn't really. Well, at least I let. No, I'll be sure stuff. Like they didn't even talk about like how he stole Kim from somebody. Like that was something I was like. And then this one on Max. They just act like he just saw on the elevator.
Ahead than me. I'm still on episode 1.
Oh, so no, they talk about him and Kim, and they just act like he saw on the elevator. And he's like, I just can't. I gotta get her. They didn't talk about like how he met her in the
But that's what,
studio.
so I think that there's like, okay, this one has this one has this, and now you're able to kind of streamline
And you got to be able to get your
from
stuff
both
out there,
pieces. Well, and we know it's going to be more coming out. There are probably more people that feel comfortable talking about, like their experience, because he's, like he locked away. So I don't know, like it's a lot. Like me, I like to go straight to the source in the beginning, and I think that's one thing that nobody seems to talk about, like how he was groomed, like indirectly groomed. I'm not intentionally, but that's what happened, which led to a lot of different things. We learned in the last doc that how he was bullied. Bullies, from when you're being bullied and you grow up, a lot of times it creates this monster. And I just mentioned to you offline, a lot of these people that are coming up from the past, like more so particularly what happened at Howard, where this girl that he literally spanked guys, this girl that he was seeing and her friends intervened. I wonder if I wonder if it's a theme where people are like, especially in his early days, I don't gotta see this motherfucker after this. I don't have to deal with him. And unfortunately, he grows up and he becomes Puff Daddy, Diddy, Love, however you want to refer to him. So I wonder if there's something like that that's there, because there's too many stories and too many like themes that are happening where nobody's just not gonna say nothing. So you're just not gonna go to the campus police. You're not gonna call the cops and yell at Howard in DC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even when the makeup artist speaks on this one, and she, her story's the same on the last documentary, just like his Timmy's story, who was the guy that grew up with Diddy in the house. It's the same.
Tim.
And
It's Tim.
so I just want to, like, when the makeup artist mentions him brutally attacking her, at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Yeah.
Her instinct was, we got to get her out of here. She said, but she was just so nonchalant, like as if this was the normal routine. There was nowhere, and at this point, because he is who he is, there's nowhere we can go. And so she calls her friend privately to come and intervene, like to check her Cassie out. Mm-hmm. But I just can't imagine that terror, that fear.
Yeah, he's a dastardly one, man. And let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about what's going on with this Trump. Trump is doing everything in 8 days.
Not 7 like Tony, 8.
8, yeah, not 7 whole days, 8 whole days. Hey man, I didn't even. He just does executive orders like he's king, which is a whole thing. It's a concept that he does want to be king. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
as if the parliament don't exist, like as if you don't have to go through these different branches to get. That's the wild part to me.
Yes,
nobody. Where. I don't want to start yelling.
No. Express yourself.
Like it's weird, because when we think of like government, the branches, the 3 branches and all this stuff, and understanding how things become a bill and how things can be vetoed, how it can go through all of these doors, and the president will be like, nah. And then it has to go back into play or whatever, and vice versa. So how are you just coming in and do all of these things? And now they're saying things like SNAP, EBT, all of that can be affected by this federal freeze that they're trying to put in place. The Pell Grants, like financial aid, all of these things, because you want to put this freeze in place. You got. I just can't. Are we living in a simulation?
Hey,
Like, is this The Sims? In real life, if somebody is like on a computer and just like we all are intertwined in this game, because this is weird to me. Like this is, and you try to detox and move away. You know, I've been trying to work on my scrolling, but it's a whole bunch of more pages that's about to get unfollowed. Like where I'm not in the know about anything, so I don't know what we gonna do over here because I ain't gonna. All the topics are gonna be a surprise to me, Daryl.
damn. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
You
I
know,
get it.
it's really tough. And then you see these companies that created these initiatives rolling back on that, and you know, Target being one of them. Target is the big company that is receiving the most
Yeah.
backlash because initially,
They carried a lot of black brands
yeah,
originally.
they carried a lot of just brands, PLC brands in general. And I think initially they said they were not going to roll it back, and then they did. But then it's like, oh, they're doing like a different initiative where like they're like rebranding it. So it's like there's some sort of confusion there. But the tough part about this is like I could see how you don't want to shop at Target no more. Everybody got to do what works best for them. I live in a city that is heavily populated with Target. Um, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't know Amazon had a DEI program because that's just not on brand for Jeff Bezos to begin with. So for me to hear that, oh, they rolled that back, I said I didn't know there was a thing there. That
Yeah,
is that is
we didn't even
that
know.
is
That don't
me
count if we
though.
don't know.
Yeah. The other brands, Walmart, all that, you know, but it's really tricky because being a person that has a small business, being a person that's worked in retail, whether it be I started at Baker's and went into luxury retail after that. Managing, understanding the business aspect of things. It I, it's tough because I was really frustrated by that post, but on the flip side, the brands that are there, I was able to discover brands that I would not know about if it wasn't for Target that made me want to engage and interact. And it allows a direct to consumer space where you're not waiting, you're not getting your package lost in the mail, which can be very frustrating and all these different things. I'm a person, I like instant gratification. I like to touch things. I like to try things on. They created a really dope initiative called Future Collective, which initially the first drop was by Howard alum Kalana Barfield Brown,
Mm.
who is a Delta, and she's been like an editor at a magazine. So now she just did a collab with Nike, some Air Force Ones, and I got the Nikes, you know. And then from there you get Janae Naylor, who is a St. Louis native, who is a big fashion influencer. And I'm not even gonna call her an influencer. I'm gonna call Janae a personality. Because she's getting
Why you
her
call it personality?
well, but she's getting her interviewing bag. So, like, you know, we're
Okay.
journalists. So she is interviewing, you know, like different, you know, people in fashion and entertainment. And she started her career working at Target. And so to see her go from that and to have a collection, she had like 2 drops with Target. Um was really dope and inspiring because I'm like, well, shit, if she could do this, I could do this too. You know, like it gives you when you see those brands like that, you have what is it, Gastro? Dang, it's like a food company. They're from New York. Uh, that had
Gosh.
different stuff in there. Even the conversation surrounding Auntie Tabitha Brown. And we know Tabitha because she is a vegan, black vegan content creator. She went from there to acting and all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say things really catapulted for her a little more when she was able to have a collaboration also with Target. And she's facing a lot of backlash because people are calling her a black capitalist because she don't want to miss out.
They call her pick me before too.
Oh, the Odyssey. I don't know nothing about that. I know she be reading
because she retired her husband.
I feel like what's the big deal?
And they said that, well, they claimed that he was doing everything for her for all like 20 some years.
But he was that, but we
working his ass off, and she didn't have to do nothing.
He wanted her to focus on her career. He was like a cop or something.
Yeah, so why is the problem her retiring?
Because people always want to comment on something that don't have nothing to do with them. That's why we're in the internet and stuff. You just can't take it seriously. Somebody say something crazy. Okay, bitch. What is it that you want me to say? Because a lot of people look for attention, and I figured that out, navigating that space here, collaborating with my other friends or whatever that have a bigger platform. People gonna love you and they're gonna really fuck with you, or they're gonna hate you because they want to be where you are. Don't let it slow you down. Keep doing what you're doing.
So so you think we need to go ahead and all this stuff is weird. Like, do we boycott Target? I don't even know what.
Okay.
We need to get right? I need to get the black, like a black page or something going where, hey, y'all.
That does exist. So here's the thing.
Or who are we supporting? Let's say, like, who support?
I want to tell people this. You could potentially get people's products pulled out of Target if you do not support their brand. So let's say if you go to Target and that's the only thing you're gonna buy, from those brands, if you have to go, then I can understand somebody saying that. But what happens is, just like in any business, there are these things called RTV. Target will probably put it on clearance and try to make some money off of it. But ultimately, you can fuck up somebody's bag. And y'all looking at it, oh, it's white dollars. No, it's still black dollars, because you don't know the work, the understanding, the work that had to go into them just even getting into Target. That's a lot of work. And think if that's the majority, if people are not on your site like that, and everybody don't have a Target. So, like, let's say a lip bar. So we think about the lip bar. Lip bar went on Shark Tank. They were making money. They didn't do it, but then they were able to spin lip bar into this multi-million-dollar company, right? And now instead of ordering lip bar, I can go into Target to get lip bar. And lip bar is always sold out here. Let me tell you that. But when those things happen, and we're no longer going to these places, they're able to scale back, which ultimately hurts their brand. Because let's say you were able to scale your business a little differently or and make it a bigger thing simply because of, I'm not putting it all on Target, guys. So don't come for me. But I'm saying that's a pocket, and now you gotta, because of that, you was relying on this extra additional income for your brand that can develop new products. Like lip bar went from lipsticks to foundations and all these other elements that involve cosmetics and cosmetics for Black people. We are still such a small percentage of a lot of these fields, like a lot of these areas.
True.
And so when you do that, that directly hurts their pockets, especially if you're not going to go online and buy from them directly. Now, I will say that some of these brands, a lot of these brands are good for having things that make you have to go onto their website that could be exclusive. So I have also shopped online at Lip Bar, just so we clear people.
So but let's get it. Let's Lip Bar is what we need to support. Right?
A lot of people's goals is to have wholesale clients because the company buys a certain amount, and then that's like guaranteed income, and depending on whatever your contract is, I'm not whatever you don't sell, you need to sell it on clearance. I'm not taking this shit back. You bought it at this price, I don't want it back. But then on the sometimes with clothing and shoes, you see RTVs happen when they can't sell through it. That's just not moving at all. So that is an aspect of it. But that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of that stuff, you gotta have to look at it from that perspective of what the work, the impact that has on somebody's business. Like for me, even with my candles, I don't think y'all realize how fucking hard it is to get traffic to your site when you're not like some big ass company. Like you don't have this celebrity backing, you don't have that endorsement. So trying to get people to actually come to your site to buy this or to buy that, it's a task in itself. It costs a lot of money to advertise, to do XYZ.
And people have to think about, I need to go to their site for that. People like one-stop shop places. Like, all right, you got everything here. Let me grab this. Even on Amazon, like you could jump on there and get 30 different things at one time and close your laptop in 10 minutes.
And depending on where you are, it might be there by 6 p.m.
Yeah, you're right.
And so that when you look at stuff like that, I challenge you to, if you don't want to directly put that money into targets, I'm strongly encouraging people to build that rapport with their econ sites to support them, because not doing that, like you can want to withhold money, but that does in the long run, because you might not at that moment be directly putting money in their pocket, but it's a long-term thing.
So you're saying more support the Black businesses instead of like,
I would say support them. And if you not, your ass better be on their websites. I want to hear it. Some of these places, I can see them maybe even doing something where they set up like subscription services, where you don't even run out of something, where it's out of sight, out of mind, where typically if you're using this product every day, or if you're eating this, and that the company is called Ghetto Gastro, that's like one of the food brands that is there, where you don't run out, it's replenishment, or do you want to skip it or whatever. But a lot of that stuff, like for me, like Future Collective, me, I'm into like fashion and stuff, and I enjoy being able to go to Future, like to Target when those drops happen, be there when the door, like I'm that girl that's there when the door open. Kalana's thing was such an iconic big deal. I was up at Target all the way in Pasadena because they had it farther out, grabbing everything, trying what I could on when same thing with Janae. What can I get? Like how I'm on the internet at midnight. I don't want to miss this. I want to be a part of this because this is somebody that looks like me that's doing a damn thing. And so I understand like that people have, whatever, like, but at the end of the day got to end, and we still got to show up and show off for our people. I don't think it's about, somebody don't want to lose money, but it's just, they want us, they want our dollars. They're Black capitalists. I don't think it's about that. Y'all not seeing a bigger picture. But when you don't know and understand business and how that stuff operates because you don't have a business, and it looked different. And yes, Black dollars do, like, we do drive a lot of currency in this country. I'm not negating that. But also, I just challenge y'all. And some of these brands, they might not even necessarily, I'm not going to say might not have a website, because I know for the most part, for you to get into Target, you have to show.
Yeah, you got to have all that infrastructure.
You got to have all that infrastructure that's there, and you got to be able to show that you can support that. But it's just kind of like, my homegirl said, shout out to Dom in the city. It's a lot of contracts involved in this. So even if it's a brand wanted to maybe just pull their stuff out, y'all don't think that contract like
You just
they
can't get
can't
up out
get
of there.
sued?
You can't just get up out of there.
You just can't get up. So there's a bigger thing that's happening, and it's so like the dialogue surrounding it is just really weird. Because even one of my homeboys, like on his page, is posting all of this stuff saying how, like people just like Target for what it represented, like a certain class, because like Target is known for being a little more expensive than Walmart. The shopping experience is different. But we have to support each other through this.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna shop there, then are you
Yeah, let's
directed?
support. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how are you gonna show up for these other brands? Because it's a trickle down impact on all of us. Because
they're trying to set us up now to break this infrastructure of what's going on in this country right now. They like before, us as Black people, we kind of pivot, we move around, we do our thing. But man, they are, and not just even Black people, period, people as a society, they're trying to break this infrastructure for they can do what they want to do again. We going back to Reconstruction type shit. If you look at some of the stuff we do, they took out something from Lyndon Baines Johnson EEOC Civil Rights Act stuff, man. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, we just got to support more.
Here's the thing, D. It's not like people were not aware of this and what was going to happen. And what did they do?
Project 2025. They said that they didn't exist. Uh-oh. Don's writing something down here now, y'all.
They fucked around and they found
a dry erase board.
Shout out to Daryl, because I literally was going to see my boy wasn't going to be this big, but we here now. And Daryl's like, hey, what's your address again? And I'm not thinking nothing. I'm thinking his tax stuff. This nigga gonna order me a dry erase board. So now I don't have to do my Venn diagrams and stuff. I
got it for real.
So, but that's what's happening. And you have this thing happening with ICE. Like, even, my sister-in-law told me how ICE went to my niece's school.
What?
And they're in out there like in the Woodland Hills, Topanga area. I said, so it ain't like they just somebody called. I said, that's somebody, teacher, an administrator, or a parent.
They giving out bread. Did you see that article? I'm not an article, it was an advertisement. They giving up $1,000 per person that you could capture if you have a bounty hunter.
Me to snitch. Sorry.
But no, I'm saying there's a bounty hunter thing in Mississippi. It's only in Mississippi. You get $1,000 per person. You can wrangle up. This on some old slave catcher stuff, though, man. Like some.
But the 20% of Black men that voted, and the Black one, the Latinos.
That was what, 60% or something like that. 60% or something.
All I say, I'm just having a time. I'm sitting back and laughing, because at the end of the day, Glow said it gotta end, and y'all knew y'all knew what was gonna happen, and here we are. Like, I told y'all like what's happening even out here. Like now San Diego is like on fire. Like all of this stuff is just so ironic, right? But y'all did this. Y'all wanted this. So here we are. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Now, what y'all gonna do? Sit back and be complacent and complicit in all of this shenanigans? Because listen, they tried me at the Petco. I told y'all that. They tried me at the Petco.
At the Petco.
I was like, the shenanigans, because I'm tired of all of it. But it's just like must see TV. I'm over it, and we knew this was coming. Like black people always trying, and don't look to us. Don't look for our black asses to save y'all. We told y'all. We told y'all.
Yeah, we
do what you do. However, do what you want to do. That's not my circus. Not my monkey. Not my circus.
Yeah, it's not my show. Not my show.
We got this show to run.
Yeah, exactly.
The fuck?
All right. Next up, we're finna go into our interview with Kevito and Rob of Love's Peace and Spades. Right after this, then we'll come back and we'll chop it up against y'all in a second.
The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a show for 80s babies who were 90s kids. If you were a No Limit soldier, then this is your show. If you believe that Cash Money is not an army but was a Navy, this is the show for you. If you and your friends ever tried to sing a song written by Escape, In Vogue, Shy, or Voiced Men at a talent show during middle school, this is your show. The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a bunch of 80s babies talking about all the songs and things that we loved when we were kids and teenagers. So if you went to the skating rink and you were at a lock-in, this is the show for you. If you think that Tevin Campbell was the original Prince of R&B, this is the show for you. If you don't understand the conflict between Monica and Brandy, but you're kind of on Monica's side and understand why Brandy got punched, this is the show for you. Make sure that you tune in, subscribe, click the little subscribe link. We're here. We're going to talk about all things 90s music. This is the show for you.
All right. Welcome to Everyone Needs an Aquarius. We are in the building with our special guests in the building with us. My man Rob Ford, Kevito Clark from Love, Peace, and Spades. Like, so they send me the email. Dom is already like, yo, I already know. That's my homegirl on their Instagram. We got to get, we want them on the show. First thing she said, she sent me the message back in like 2 minutes. So that's why the email went back so fast, because she was like, no, I know that. That's my homegirl on their IG.
Yeah, y'all have a girl Janae on one of the posters. So I'm like, all right, Black excellence.
Well, quick spoiler alert: Janae is going to be our host for next week's King Day game night.
Okay,
so she'll be running the show. It'll be a fun night.
So it's a card game night for people to be able to socialize, get together, understand each other, and relax, release as from the different world with Debbie Allen's character. And we bringing them on. We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss a lot of different things and whatnot. So how did this all come about? Let me go to you, Rob. How did this all come about? Like, what was the germination of this whole concept and this whole setup?
Well, I actually probably want to dish that to Kev, because my introduction to it was a little bit right after his ideation of the whole thing. So I'm gonna
go ahead, Kev.
Sure. Thank you guys for having us on. We want to say we appreciate the listeners checking out this show, this episode, and to kind of put a TLDR on it. 2022, I moved here from New York City, Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy to be exact, and I was one of the producers behind the Leimert Park Juneteenth Festival. And so the crew that I was around put me in that motivation to kind of explore what producing events would look like. And I've always wanted to do something with Spades. Everywhere I've gone, I've tried to see who played and how they played. And there was always some sort of stigma associated with it. And so once we got the venue, which is at the Line Hotel, 3515 Wilshire Boulevard, we were able to put together this event. And the central focus is to serve as a third space, or as we like to call Hush Harbor, to have intergenerational communion through music, tech, education, and play, which helps us to allow our people who look like us to play culturally rich games, spades, bidwhists, dominoes, not to feel othered by outsiders or have to worry about a Karen calling the police. And we can kind of build, we can kind of take ownership of these Black family heirlooms and pass them on to the next generation.
So I have a question.
Here we go.
Do you guys have sessions where you teach people how to play spades and these
Oh,
other
here we
games?
go. I knew it.
Okay, Daryl, don't do that. Don't do that. You know,
Don don't know how to play spades.
I do. And
You gotta put it out there like that.
but there are some black things that I don't know how to do, and playing spades and dominoes is one of them. I might not also know how to double dutch. So I just want to know.
You from the west side of St. Louis and don't know how to do this. I don't know how this is possible.
Don't
worry, I can't double dutch either.
Okay, so I don't feel judged by my new brothers in this conversation. Daryl, why you got to be like that?
You from the west side. I'm just saying.
Anyway,
I mean, yeah, we should all exist in a no judgment zone, especially with each other.
So with that said,
in the same city, our city's not that big. I can judge her. She know I know why that doesn't make any sense. That she in this moment I judge her. She know that it should be judgment.
Anyway, do you guys offer lessons for the less fortunate people that don't know how to play?
Well, in fact, I mean, I'll jump in. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we actually do. So we have a Spades Academy, and that is meant to be intentionally a space for you to feel safe and to learn spades. So actually, I've gotten that question a lot. There's a couple of friends that had asked me before about going, and they said, well, I'm not going to go because I'm not looking to just have some expert level people. Everybody's an expert when I walk in, and now I got to deal with all of that. I have to try to keep up. Nobody's going to tell me the rules. My partner is going to get upset because I'm table talking in the wrong way, all of that kind of stuff. But instead, no, we do have a place where you come in and we'll give you a green wristband when you come in. You can then go over to a special table where you'll be taught.
Y'all get the kids.
Yo.
And don't worry, everybody gets a wristband, okay? They get to give different colors.
Yeah,
okay?
everybody gets a wristband.
We're not making you. We're not trying to shame anybody.
I like that, Rob. I like that.
You'd be surprised who wants to have a chance to learn. Like for instance, we had a month last year where one of our coaches, her name is Yasmin Monet. She teaches Bidwis, and we had the actor Craig Robinson come in. If anybody knows who Craig Robinson is, he's a talented individual, hilarious, funny, and word on the curb was either he knew how to play Bidwis and wanted to refine his skills, or he didn't know how to play and came to the game night to learn from Yasmin. And for that instance, it's a safe space. We really try to not throw that word around so loosely, but we enjoy those who want to come and learn, because education is one of our main priorities in our direct mission to make sure, like I said earlier, that these Black family heirlooms can pass along to the next generation.
Okay. All right. I don't know how I feel about this.
Don't worry, we got you. And even if you don't know how to play spades, there's also like Bidwis, like I said, and Tonk and dominoes that can also be a place where you learn.
More Black things that I don't know how to do. Continue.
I would go. So this came from the germination of like, hey, let's just have this amount. So how did this what came up with the start of it? Is it the same place it always has been, or you have moved venues, or have you how has been the growth pattern for you all?
This was going into year 3. Our first 2 years have always been at the Line Hotel. We just renewed our agreement with the hotel for another year of residency, but we also have outside activations, which we call pull up and play. Kendrick kind of copied us by calling it the pop out, but pull up and play is where people can find us at different intervals. I think the first summer that we were open, we had a game night at the Salt Eaters Bookshop in Inglewood. We did a collaborative with Motherland Sounds, which is a Ethiopian, East African cultural exchange at Emma's Habesha, also at Inglewood. We did the 2023 Juneteenth Festival in Leimert Park. Last year, we hosted our first culture and games festival called Love, Peace, and Spades Day in Venice at a Black-owned hotel called Red Line Venice. So people were able to play spades while sitting on a rooftop overlooking the beach and seeing the ocean and feeling the breeze. And we really enjoy having a home, but we also want to bring what we do to you wherever you're at as well.
Do you guys foresee yourself potentially kind of taking this to different parts of the country? Like you have like a little Love, Peace, and Spades tour? Is that in the works? So we're gonna put that in the future for y'all. Is that something that y'all?
Yeah, let's. I love to tell people from your mouth to Beyonce's ears. So that's how we'll look at that.
She's also a Beehive member, proud Beehive member. So you're in a safe space now. Now you're in a safe space with her.
I get it.
I just want to let you know, Daryl's never listened to a Beyonce album. By the way.
Nope, that's not true. I did listen to one. We did it on a couple episodes ago.
Oh, yeah, you did.
That was a big deal.
I was proud. Yeah, my bad. Okay, well, yeah, I'm like, excuse me. Like, what would be some of like the cities that you guys would like to go to when you have this tour? Don't go to St. Louis; they might rob you.
What would you have in mind, Rob? Where would you see us going if we could go anywhere?
Well, I get my.
You gotta go to the Bay, right? You gotta go to the Bay, right?
List the locations. Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna be biased because I got friends. I got friends in the Bay. I got people in New York. I got people in Atlanta. But I'm also gonna put at the top of the list Detroit because
I was gonna say y'all gotta go to Detroit. That's so funny.
As somebody who is from Metro Detroit, of course I want.
Are you from the D?
Okay. Baby.
What part of D you from, Rob?
Just outside Southfield.
Okay. Yeah. I got family up there on the east side.
To give you the reference, if you're talking about 7 mile, 8 mile, 9 mile, that's where I'm from. 9 mile.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of y'all out here.
Oh yeah, we would. That would be great. I mean, well, I believe Detroit still has one of the highest Black populations for any city in the U.S. And it would be a great spot. There's plenty of community there, and lots of people who are very eager to play spades. Specifically, my family, who also did not explain the rules to me. Like myself, I had to figure it out, and I did. Okay, and I clamored, and we figured it out.
Okay. So when did you figure it out?
What's that?
When did you figure it out?
Oh boy, embarrassingly late. Later on than I would like to admit. It took a minute. A lot of observations, and then also trying to have side conversation with family members to be like, "Hey, so what is happening over here?" Trying to get that, and I'll say even now, I'm still not that great. I admit I'm not that great. I like showing up though. It's fun.
Okay.
Well, let me ask a quick question to you guys, actually for the room itself and listeners as well. So, do you know how to play spades, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So, what green flags would you want in a potential spades partner?
Ooh.
The rules ahead of time before we sit down on what's going to be the big joker, little joker.
I was going to say. Let's set
that before I even sit down. Are we doing? Because I've been in places in Detroit where like they play the 2 of spades, like a third joker. Like it's like it's almost like a house rules thing. I'm like, okay, bro, like what are we doing here before we sit down? What is your house rules?
Right. So you want somebody who's communicative. But not talking.
Yeah, or just posted it like, hey, we don't have a third joker. We also have the words on this one is the little joker. The big joker is one without the words. Then I'm like, all right, cool. We understand it. No,
I get it.
No blinds. No blinds. I mean, it's so many different. I play with people, especially like when you flip it on the other side. I play with white people more. They'll play nil on you. That you can actually bet nil books. So I've been in that as well. So just a listing of all the house rules, or table sets the rules. Like, hey, when we all playing, these are our rules. Either one.
I feel you.
What does all of this mean?
When you come through next week, we'll learn you. We'll learn you.
Okay. With my green man.
Yeah, trust me, you'll be around friends. You'll be like, hey girl, I didn't know that you came out too. Like, I come here every month. And that's all this familiar faces.
With the DSEG. This is why you shouldn't with the DSEG, Dom. This is DSEG issues.
Okay. First of all, so to explain to you guys what that is, we had a program in St. Louis where they sent the city.
It was Missouri. It was the state of
Missouri. They sent city kids to integrate the county schools, and it was called the DSEG program. And I was a part of that. They just stopped that about 10 years ago, Daryl. I don't know. Like,
some schools still do it.
Okay.
Some schools still do it on their own privately.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I got sent to the county school for high school. And that's probably when I would have learned how to play spades. Now, I do remember going to a house party, and someone trying to like teach me, but I think it was just too much going on in the setting where it wasn't sticking. And so I am, looking forward to coming and trying this again. I'm dusting myself off, and I'm gonna try again, like Aaliyah said. So I will definitely have an update there. I will let you know how it goes. I'm a little nervous, but it'll be all right.
You guys have a dominoes training too. Dominoes training
so
as well.
When it comes to dominoes, I can kind of play if they colored dominoes. I'm like, if it's the colors, because then I know I got a line like what to do, sort of. So yeah, I played that way a couple times. But if you're gonna ask me to play, I'm gonna be like, can I get a partner, like somebody that can lead me? So yes.
I will say there's something that's pretty awesome about it. So a number of people will just show up without necessarily knowing anyone, without having a partner that they're going to play spades with. Or in some of the other games, you don't necessarily need a partner. For example, with dominoes, you can just play as self. But what's really nice is that there's a lot of accessibility at the tables themselves. People are very friendly.
Okay.
It's a total wide range, as we have mentioned before, about Spades Academy and making sure that people of all levels can come in and enjoy the play. There's the same spirit, the same energy is at all those other tables. So don't worry if you're not even that good at dominoes, which my dad does like a weekly dominoes thing over at his place. Oh. And I did play. I played in one time, and I did okay. I actually did all right. But there was a lot of crap talking, and I will say that everybody else was a higher level than me. What I like about going in to Love, Peace, and Spades is that if I'm going to play dominoes, at least I have a good chance that I can sit in with people who are going to be very friendly, and it's all levels. So that's something I definitely would.
So there's no tables being busted from domino or nothing at this event.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about somebody flipping the table over on you or get your hand out of my pocket moments or nothing like that.
It does get loud. Okay, it's going to get loud. There's definitely going to be some shouting. Okay, it will occur, but that's just. Hey, look, you got it. You're gonna have to be able to take. You got to be able to dish it and take it a little bit.
Yeah. Our mantra is all players welcome, and so we look forward to having an array of beautiful Black people in the room to celebrate with us, especially since it's Dr. Martin Luther King's actual birthday on the 15th.
Okay.
So we want to not only celebrate ourselves in this new year and vitality amongst ourselves and the community, but we want to kind of highlight the importance of rest, leisure, and play, something that we know wasn't really shown of Dr. King when he was alive. And next week we'll have a couple posts that highlight that, just like kind of through the narrative, the showcase. That's what we're on, and we want to make sure that you guys know that it's a place for you to do the same.
Okay, we like that. I like that. Man, I'm really excited though. Like, I'm serious. I'm a little competitive. So that's a good, but I just gotta understand for y'all which is the big joker and which one is the little joker.
Well, also shout out to our sponsor, Bicycle Cards. They have a Spades deck that actually says
Oh, okay.
what the big joker is and what the little joker is. So
Okay.
there's no confusion when you're at the tables playing that game specifically.
Where does that come from? Like how are people confused about that in the deck? Like are all decks not created equal? Like how did this? Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't think it was going to be a simple answer like that. He's like, no, that's right, it's not.
No, if let's say, for instance, you're playing with a red deck, like it's a red bicycle deck, it'll have a joker. It'll have the jokers in there, but it'll be color coordinated. One will be red and one will be black, so you can kind of write your own ticket in that one. Or they're card game specific, like euchre, which is basically hearts, where they're not really played for spades, but you have 52 cards, so you can play spades with those. But there's other companies too that are directly talk to those who play spades, and they have card decks that reflect us.
Oh, okay.
And then Dom also, there in some places they'll just write big and little on it to make sure that even going forward there's no confusion. Which one is which? They'll just write on it, just big and little. Like we had this confusion before in '87. We ain't gonna never have it happen again. We're gonna write it on there.
Okay, that's understandable. I just was wondering. I'm like, how did that become a thing? Because like now I'm seeing discourse about it again online, and I saw Kev on stage do a clip because they're filming season 2 of Churchy, and they were going around asking people which one is the big joker and which one is the little joker, and then like from there I just start seeing all of this stuff, and I'm just like, okay, how did we get here? So that's nice to know that all decks are not created equal. I did not know that either.
That's true.
What'd you say?
I was going to say you got to watch out, because there are some people who like to be sneaky, and then they want to switch up on you and say, oh no, this was the big joker, this was the little joker. Got to watch for that. I'm not naming names. I'm just saying perhaps.
No. It happens all the time. It happens all the time.
Right. But we know it happens. I'm not saying who. I'm just saying it does happen. Nobody
in Atlanta. Particularly in Atlanta, Tom.
Right. No gun and one on the record. That's what we don't want.
Those Atlanta players are the ones. I've always seen the trickery happen in spades in Atlanta for whatever reason, here and there. It's just
Atlanta getting called out now. Atlanta better respond.
I know. I already know. Atlanta will respond. They will respond. So what are both of you all's roles within the organization and whatnot? Rob, what's your role, your responsibilities?
So when I started helping Kavito earlier this year, basically at the beginning of this year, we met, and as soon as we met and he explained his vision of everything, it was pretty much a go for me. From that point forward, I was like, this is fantastic. I was hoping to get involved in various events somehow, some way. And I thought that this was just a great vision that he had, and something that I really wanted to support and get behind. So I also didn't have a clue as to how I wanted to be a part of the whole thing. But we kind of talked a little bit, and, he's kind of explaining this process, and, he's talking about registration, and he's like, well, I got this like spreadsheet where I kind of track everything as it's coming in. That way we can kind of make sure we know who's doing what. And I said, oh, you know what? I actually know we could change this. We could change that. And before I knew it, I was already looped in. So I ended up becoming really involved on the tech side of things. So helping with, get it, the website, continuing development, the actual processes of things. I guess what we're calling the operations.
That's like operations.
Yeah. So registration, when we have events, we want those to go as smoothly as possible. So we regularly collect feedback from our attendees just to make sure that we really understand what the experience is like for them. Right. We can always try to put ourselves in their shoes, but when you're really focused on all these different aspects of the event and trying to make sure that it goes as well as it can, we also want to make sure we understand exactly what it's like from the perspective of any player that we have there. So that's what I get mostly involved in, is just trying to help make those event experiences as best as they can be.
All right.
And what about you,
for myself?
He does everything else.
Yeah. I'm the plate spin master, however you want to call it. Like, again, big shout outs to the OG squad, Camille Davis, Il Camille, Paris McCoy. They really helped me from that first year get us to where we're at now. We officially became a 501c3 last year, so now we're a nonprofit. And in addition to Rob, we have a board that helps us with our education initiative, which is called Play It Forward. And I am the brain master, I guess you would say. Like, I would be the person who has these wild and crazy ideas. And, now that I have a solid team together who is in the trenches with me, like with Rob, with also shout out to Rita Hawk. We also have a few others who are coming in on the board side that I haven't been able to mention yet because we want to do something special for them. But they really look at me as like a mad scientist and help me get my ideas out.
Mad scientist indeed. Okay, I talk to Kev at least 1-2 times a day, and he's coming up with something. He's telling me, an idea that he's had about something, or he's like, hey, what do you think about, what if we did this thing? What do you think about that? Is it possible to do this by I know it's next week, but is there something we could do over here? I mean, we're constantly in contact. He is constantly throwing out some very great ideas.
On podcast, we definitely discuss healing. We discuss aspects of psychology. We discuss you becoming the best you, mental wellness,
for sure,
health,
femininity, parenthood, dating,
definitely dating,
single parents. And it's from a lens of two psychologists,
Yeah.
So,
but also two people who grew up with both parents, married parents, and then you all know that Chloe and I are the youngest of our crews, like her siblings and my siblings. So so it's from that perspective.
Yeah, looking at life through that lens. Yeah. So you're gonna get a whole lot of things from us. From us being women, going through life as parents, and all of these awesome attributes. But yes, womanology, the study of women.
The study of women.
Some very zany ideas, okay? And but I'm always I love hearing it because I can see just how active he's extremely he's not going to say this. He's extremely invested in this in a way that I think a lot of people just do not see. He cares so wholeheartedly about all of this, and he did not pay me to say this, just to be clear. He cares really wholeheartedly about all of this. And I'm definitely gonna say he's an HNIC for sure. No doubt about that. That's the guy. So just really happy to be a part of it. I know the rest of not to speak for everybody, but I'm pretty sure I could speak for everyone when I say that everybody that the whole team really loves working with.
Yeah, we have a lot of shooters. We have a lot of Steph Currys, and it's going to be 2025 is just already a beautiful year starting off. We just as of this recording was announced to be a 4-time award recipient of the Black LA Hall of Fame, courtesy of Black Events LA. Shout out to Jocelyn Chambers. So it's looking like, well, this is just a bit for those who are astrology minded, but I'm like,
give us more.
Okay, so did you guys see the Black Moon as we close the year? That started on December 30th. There's been a Black Moon that.
No, I did not.
My New York sensibilities kept thinking Duck Down,
Black Moon, like Black Moon,
Buckshot. Yeah, but it was a real Black Moon. And it's significant to where we're at as a community. You know, we've all been through a lot respectively of each other. And as we go into this new year, all I'm hearing is it's nation time, or it's community, or it's us looking at each other and not looking outside, or we're going to gatekeep the recipes. And I think that is a very signifying moment to say we're not just going to root for everybody Black, but we're going to spend our money with everybody Black. We're going to pull up and hang out with everybody Black. We're going to listen to the podcast in color. We're going to make sure that we show up for each other in a way that we've all wanted before, but I think it's going to surprise us in how many ways. I've been liking it to that we're now in a post GNX existence, that people are going to really show out, and there's going to be no false flagging about what side of the coin.
Explain what a post GNX is. Explain that.
Sure, real quick. So GNX is the soon-to-be Grammy Award-winning album by Kendrick Lamar. And if anybody's gone through the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake fracas, you know that album is very important to the discussion of what side of the line you on. Are you for the culture, or are you parroting the culture? Are you trying to leech off the culture? And so post GNX to me specifically means that we're not letting everybody eat off our table anymore. We're not letting everybody come in here and putting smut on anybody's name. We're not letting people come in here and talk bad about Black women. We're not letting people come in here and just kick their feet up and think they cool when they haven't even went next door and said hi to the neighbors.
No gentrification.
Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, gentrification, it's a battle that's all in its own, a separate discussion. But I think what happens is that
you're saying basically cultural gentrification.
Well, yeah, even still, that's still things that are going to happen. But in gatekeeping, there's these commandments, there's these tenets that you have to follow, and if you don't, then hey now, or peekaboo could be one of those things you'd be hearing unassumingly.
I love that metaphor, like, or sort of analogy for what things are to be. I think for a while, Daryl and I even talk about it, like us losing a sense of community and understanding how important it is. And I feel like it's slowly kind of coming back together. And it's just up from there. And I mean, y'all are doing something really dope, really great, especially in such a big, sprawling city like that, or, like this, where I remember the first time I came to visit LA, I was like, where are the Black people? I was like in the 8th grade, and I was like, where are the Black people outside of this group? And of course, like, my cousin went to, this person formerly known as my cousin went to Harvard Westlake. So, so where are the Black people? You know what I mean? And then finding that sense of belonging and finding people, it took kind of a second. And it's something that I always see kind of like a little conversation about, like on social media. Like everybody's like, okay, you in LA and you Black, let's connect, let's do this, let's do that, or whatever. So you're seeing it in real time, and that's really dope that y'all are also a part of that.
Yeah,
thank you. We appreciate that.
There's one thing to mention, just to kind of reiterate some of the earlier point. Jocelyn's Black Events LA, she does a phenomenal job of making people aware of events that are going on. And to the point about, to the question about where we host our events, Kavito mentioned a number of locations, but we are really all across LA County with it. So even as far as, I believe, I don't think Long Beach was mentioned, but last year there was an event at Long Beach.
Right.
And
we did Juneteenth this year, or last year,
right.
Long Beach.
Right. Mm-hmm. So there are definitely things going on all over the place, not just with Spades, but of other events as well, for people to get to. Some folks, complain about that LA traffic. Hey, it's going to take me about 3 to 27 hours to get over here across town, and I really don't want to have to do all that. Don't worry, we got stuff that's in your area. We got stuff in your neighborhood.
Y'all got Orange County popping yet? I mean, I'm just asking.
Where are the Black people?
I've only been to Irvine, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah, they got them all.
Y'all put me on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right, we're gonna play a game with y'all. It's called This or That. It's basically going to be you have two choices of two different things. You have to choose one of them. One of them gotta go. All right. We're gonna make it real simple.
Are we choosing this as a collective? Like, are we choosing this?
No, y'all individually. Y'all got your own. Y'all are two individuals. Y'all have your own individual flows.
Okay.
All right. Living single or family matters?
Oh, that was an easy one.
Stop it. Don't lead the the.
I didn't have to do. Everybody know that Carl is always mad. Don't nobody want Carl as mad.
But look, I'm going with family matters, but that's because I watch more of it. Okay, it's nostalgic for me. I appreciate it. I'll take it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You can tell Rob was doing the Urkel dance at his school, trying to get everybody to be like, "This is the
man." Oh man, no,
the Urkel dance was cracking. The Urkel dance was cracking.
Hey, he could dance. Okay, he could.
Yeah. For me, living single. I mean, what else can you say about seeing a group of friends and lovers and intermingling in New York City and doing their thing? And my background is in journalism, so Khadijah was my spirit animal, real talk.
Okay.
Yeah, but both of us too.
Yeah, I'm like, I think Rob, you joining us in journalism?
I'm staying on my side. Look, I'm staying on my side. Listen,
okay.
For me. Your square, man.
Don't get me wrong. I respect living single. There's no question over that.
But, no, I would say if you went to school, like are you a journalist too, or broadcasting? Or
no. No, I marketing. I was in marketing.
I love it. Okay, pretty much.
I mean, that's what I do.
You're honorary.
Yeah. I'm here. What's up? I'm chilling.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Martin or Fresh Prince?
Oh. Okay, that's a little tougher.
I'm saying Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying Fresh Prince too.
Wow. Are you from Detroit, Rob? What's going on?
Well, look, when I was born, I don't want to age myself. I was born during a time where Fresh Prince, it was Fresh Prince. I'm just going to leave it at that.
But they came out they were at the same time, though.
You know what? A little contrarian, but I got to say, that's what I was watching.
All right. Hey.
I know Detroit now. Nah, they're gonna come after me now after this, so I guess gotta get ready.
I mean, if they're gonna come after you, they're gonna have to. If they come after you, they're gonna have to come after me too. I'm going with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air too. I love Martin.
Hey.
I love Martin. But if this is like a bad boys conversation, we're going Will all day.
Wow.
It's tough because I do think, honestly, both of them have a lot of quotables. And I'm not even that great at remembering quotes.
Mark got way more quotables, man.
Look, I do agree. Martin might edge out a little bit on the quotas, but I tell you what, those heartfelt moments for me on Fresh Prince, it
was more dramatic on the Fresh Prince side.
I really love that.
I just love James Avery.
All right.
I'm about to say the same thing. When you see James work, you realize you're watching a master do his craft.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Different World or The Cosby Show?
Different world,
but after Denise.
Oh,
listen! Don't hate on my
first season. I was like, let's just skip it. Let's move on with our lives.
I'm gonna go with A Different World. I'm gonna go have to agree with that.
Whoa, what is going on here? But I like Different World too more. I do.
Okay,
it was way more, it was in our wheelhouse more. It's me being a middle school kid around that time period. It was more in my wheelhouse of like, yo, they weren't the African American hoodies.
Mm-hmm.
It was just more right in the wheelhouse. I mean, Cosby just started like 86, 85, 86. Different World was like right when I'm like on TV, like appointment TV stuff.
Plus, even with like guest stars, you were listening to the people who they brought on to like serve as guest stars.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget that Heavy D episode because Heavy D still
Dude, it's one of the best episodes
because you saw like it's gonna get me on my hip hop shit, but basically you saw how great of an actor Heavy D is, not just in the fact that he did theme song for Living Single, theme song for In Living Color, worked with Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson. You saw that he had range and he could put on a real show. And so that was young Heavy D status, you know, and it just made me feel like, oh, they got people who I listen to on the show. And that's not to say that that didn't happen in the Cosby Show, but, you know, Lena Horne, I love Lena Horne, but that wasn't who I was always bumping in my own free time.
All right, we're gonna switch it up a little bit more to the music side. Nas or Jay-Z?
You want to go first?
You from Brooklyn, Kevito. I already know where it's going. Kevito. It's all good.
I know it's gonna be more on them.
I muted that one on purpose. I was like,
Yeah,
it's the rock.
I already know.
It's the rock.
I know you from Brooklyn.
I lived on Lafayette and Troop. I'm around the corner from Marcy Projects. I'll never forget. Tracy Morgan had, I think it was the second season of his show that he had on TBS, and he spent his entire check renovating the playground at Marcy, and that meant a lot because he said it. He's like, I did something that Jay-Z didn't do, and that's not a shot to Jay. That's just to show that how connected Brooklyn really is in a way that I've even here living in Los Angeles, like it's connected, and Black LA is interconnected in a unique way that's different from New York. But when it comes to the stars or the legends that have came out of that neighborhood specifically, their names live on forever, and Jay-Z is one of them. No disrespect to Nas, but like Takeover definitely beat either, in my opinion.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. Rob, we'll go to you next.
So I
went
feel
to graduate school in Queens. I went to graduate school in Queens. I went to Hunter for graduate school. So I have a special place for Queens in my heart. Go ahead, Rob.
I might be on their side then because here's the thing. For me, I listened to a little more of Jay-Z growing up than I did Nas, but I did listen to Nas. Okay, so I did get. You can never really get enough of them because I think those are just they both have classics that people keep coming back to. Obviously, that's why they're at the top. But I would say I personally feel like Ether was it for me. I don't think that I think that Takeover had a lot of strength in certain ways, but I just feel like Ether had a viciousness to it that for me personally, it just felt harder hitting. So I'm gonna have to, even though I actually did listen to a little more Jay-Z, I gotta give it to Nas here. I gotta get to, and I also feel like Nas had a lot of excellent tracks about quintessential New York. As somebody who hadn't gone and visited yet and was growing up getting a depiction of it, Nas was just giving us a kind of side that a lot of people just didn't know if they didn't grow up there.
As much as I love like One Mic, I'm gonna go with Beyonce Husband, because
y'all understand Dom was like 3 years old when any of this was going on.
Wow, okay, that's fine. That's not true, but whatever. I also, growing up in a Christian household. True. No, I grew up in a Christian household. And we couldn't listen to that stuff. Like, I got on punishment. We got grounded after we went to the No Way Out tour. So, like, my mom didn't know. Like, my dad got us the concert tickets, and her friend was like, "You let them go to that raunchy concert?" Yeah, we got in trouble, but it was worth it. So yeah, that's all. Yeah, Beyonce.
We gonna make it even worse now. This is the second music question. Biggie,
and don't wait. Okay,
no, I'm not doing.
I was gonna say Kavito has a hard out, and then I thought it's 6:54. So okay.
Yep. No, this one's gonna be a new. I'm keeping it Kevito in New York with this one. Biggie.
Okay.
Or Big Daddy Kane.
Decision.
I put it back. I kept it all Brooklyn. He can't get out of it by saying, "Oh, well, I'm from Brooklyn, and I'm gonna go with the Brooklyn person."
Can I clarify that? You know, I was born in Ohio. I was born in Akron, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to LeBron and Steph Curry. That's where we from.
Are you from Akron?
No, really.
Okay.
On the real, how can I say? Damn. Can we do it like the other shows and just, you know, can I take a shot of water?
No. You got to just answer.
Rob, okay, you think about it.
Yeah, give me a second because
Rob,
okay, with absolutely no stake in the game, as having been in New York only a few times, I would say. I'm hesitating a little bit on this too, actually.
See, now everybody start thinking.
Yeah, Biggie.
You want to say one, you like, but hold on.
Album, and that's not even him. That's Tone Loc. So I can't tell you nothing. That's my reasoning. Y'all have at it.
All right. Man, I love Biggie. Man, listen, all the songs that just went through my head, trying to break apart one and the other. You know what? I'm gonna shoot the fair one and say, Big Daddy Kane, Don't Hate Me, Bed-Stuy. I still love Biggie, but I'll never forget Big Daddy Kane bringing out Biggie, Tupac, and Shaheem to do a freestyle, and it would not have happened. We would not have had those two really on wax before the beat, before anything else, without Big Daddy Kane. So I think he's the bridge to a lot of people that everybody.
That's when they had Show and Prove out. And that's when Big Daddy Kane Show and Prove out.
Yeah, and for Big Daddy Kane to be influence for some of your favorites, to be a connector to the others, it's just I gotta give him where it's just due.
All right, Rob, we back to you, man. What you got?
That's enough to sway me, to be honest. I mean, while I have to also acknowledge that, you know, again, Biggie's undeniable. I think the reach was definitely there, but I'm a fan of if I feel like someone's a little more foundational, I do tend to like lean a little more that way. So I'm gonna have to go with Big Daddy Kane on that as well.
All right, last one. This is a quadruple threat match. Movies.
Oh, no.
Juice, which y'all see behind me, one of my favorites. New Jack City, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. It's a quadruple death match. One of them can come out.
Repeat that one more time. Juice, Boys in the Hood.
Juice, New Jack City, Menace to Society.
Ooh. You know what? Damn. You know what? I'm gonna go with New Jack City because
you go with New Jack City.
When one of the places I stayed here was on 18th and Main, and I used to call that spot the Carter because it was smoked out. Instead of instead of like Nino Browns, you had a lot of essays and MS-13s, and it just felt like I was right on set, basically. So that movie, all these movies really have a lasting impression on me, but New Jack City cancel. There's a lot of quotables, you know, and it's a foundational movie in my mind as far as being a Black cinephile.
All right, Rob.
I get emotionally invested sometimes when I'm watching something or listening to something, both. And for me, it's about if I get left with this like feeling. Sometimes I don't necessarily know what it is or how to describe it, You know, sometimes it could be straight out, it's sad, it's happy, whatever that it is, or just like pure nostalgia because it was something that I indulged in at the time, you know, that things were going on in my life, right? And for me, this is kind of that. Menace to Society is it for me because it was it was in my younger years that I saw it, and it was only maybe a couple of years after the movie came out. I mean, I was a kid, you know, and I'm only allowed to watch certain things, but when I was able to watch it, I was going to watch it. So that's why it's that for me. It's the nostalgia. And now I don't even know if my parents necessarily know that I watched it because I was over at a friend's at the time. So hopefully they don't see this and get upset, but it is what it is.
Well, y'all.
All right, yeah. Let us know once again, like everything that's going on. People could come support, check it out, and how they can get on the email list, all that stuff.
Sure. So again, Love, Peace, and Spades is a rather fly game night that happens every first Wednesday of the month from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Line Hotel. The address is 3515 Wilshire Boulevard. That's Wilshire, Normandy. You can find us on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok at Love, Peace, and Spades. That's Love, PEACEAND, SPAD as in David, ES. Love, Peace, and Spades. And you can subscribe to us through our website, lovepeaceandspades.com. And we're looking forward to you guys joining us for the year ahead.
Dom's gonna try to come out. I'm coming out to LA soon. This spring, I'm coming out there. Me and Dom got to do some stuff. No, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. After soccer season over for my daughter, I'll be out there.
Oh my God!
Thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much, and we would love to have y'all back. And we'll definitely, like I said, if this is gone, y'all see me next week.
Okay.
Sickness, yeah. Not my face, because I love that, but the sickness.
No, please feel better. Please feel better. That's
but I was like, huh. I'm like, no. Okay. Peace.
I'm Doja. They sleep. Yeah, we part of Just Posted Podcast, man. The best show on this network. Come on, check, girl.
Seriously, man. Just Posted. It's just me and Doja sitting back talking about what the fuck going on in the world and the streets.
We said labor of love. He said labor of love. I didn't say that shit. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, everybody coming to watch, though, man. We really appreciate y'all. Holla at y'all later.
Hey, man, this nigga just tall for no reason.
I'm gone.
And he do regular jobs. Don't forget that.
All right, shout out to the brothers from Love, Peace, and Spades, Kavito and Rob, man. Thank y'all for coming on, man. It was super, super dope learning about that. I'm gonna be out. I'm with the new developments. Dom, I will be in LA actually pretty soon with the stuff we talked about off the air.
Okay.
Do some of the planning stuff for that.
Okay.
So I will be out there sooner than later. Now by force.
Okay.
No, seriously, by force. Because we got to finish planning some stuff for that project. So
okay.
So I'll be maybe I might need to plan it around one of these Love, Peace, and Spades. But they talk about the one that was going in January, but I just want to let everybody know it's actually February 5th at the same hotel, Lynx Hotel, I believe.
No, not the Lynx. We don't have that here. It
not
is
Lynx
called
Hotel,
the Line Hotel.
Line Hotel. I knew
Yes,
the Line Hotel. Yes.
Yeah.
February 5th at the Line Hotel. They had to reschedule the last one because of the.
Oh no, they had it because I got hit up about why I didn't go, and I was like, "Hey, y'all, I was still sick."
Oh, so they did have it.
Okay. Risky. I just didn't want to risk it. I didn't know what was going on with me as my face hurts and have sinus issues still. But it did rain out here, guys. So the air quality is a little better, but with the weather being weird, it was like almost 80 degrees the other day. So the weather been yo-yoing still. So yeah.
All right. Before we get into this, did you get a chance to look at? Before we get into our last topic, did you get a chance to look at the girl I was talking about? Cooking with Kaya.
I have no clue what that is. Because like when I was texting you, I was like building out a report.
No,
which I need your help on. I'm like, you be making reports and stuff, so help me in the future.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Shoot it to me.
Okay.
Or just let me know what you need with it, because I mean, I do reports all the time.
Okay.
I got a cheat code too that I got for it too. I don't want to definitely saying that shit on the air.
Okay.
Because that's something that I get that shit done pretty fast.
Okay.
But I want to play this for you, Dom. If anybody remembers, back some years ago, there was a young lady that started a big kerfuffle online. For her, I'm gonna keep it. It's her interpretation of one Bruno Mars. Now, what before I get into this clip, Dom? What is your initial like kind of feel of like Bruno Mars in general? Just before I play this because you don't remember this whole crazy thing, not crazy, but this controversy from then a couple of years ago.
I don't have no beef with Bruno Mars. I like Bruno Mars. You know, like I think he is a good performer. He has been very vocal about where he draws influence from. It's not like he is saying certain things or like dipping his toe in certain areas and then just running off. I think that he always kind of had a knack for R&B because when we kind of first meet Bruno, he's kind of burst on the scene with B.O.B. That song Ain't Got Nothing on You, girl. So that's our first introduction where it was still kind of like a little poppy, but then man, he has this song on the Twilight soundtrack, which I ain't never watched the movies. I tried, I couldn't get into it. But the song, man, because he said, if you ever leave me, baby, leave some morphine at my door. And so it is, you're still getting him in that pop realm, but then you see him like it's like R&B stuff happening here and there, and then he fully immerses himself into it, which is honestly where I think he wanted to be. And we see that happen with artists all the time. Like the label will say, "Nah, we think you're gonna hit better this way," and then your second album, you kind of get that more creative freedom. I mean, look what happened with Pink. And a lot of them white people don't know that Pink was black first.
That's very true. But she was signed to LaFace, so why would you?
Signed to LaFace, but I think on that second album, she was still on LaFace.
Yeah, she was.
And so you see that like Chris Brown always initially wanted to rap. And they was like, nah. So this, Avril Lavigne wanted to be was put on because she was a country singer, and they said no. So then you see her be this alternative, rock girl. So that's normal in the industry. So it's so interesting when we see certain dialogues happening around certain artists. When you hear out the gate, that's what they've always said. Or like that they've always had an ear to R music and they wanted to be R&B stars. Like nobody say shit about JoJo.
JoJo was kind of the shit too.
JoJo is the shit. Like she's still making hits.
Yeah.
So I think it depends because like you see JoJo like when she comes out, Get Out Leave, which is that whole album, she was signed to Blackground Records. Because for a while. You remember
Tank was writing for her for a long time.
Who?
Tank was.
Yeah. So, but you remember that period where you couldn't even, because like you remember, like one of Toni Braxton's album is under Blackground. It was only one album.
Yeah, because you couldn't get a Leah album, you couldn't get Tank album.
None of that stuff on streaming.
Yeah.
And I was a JoJo fan, but that album was pretty much full on R&B outside of that lead single.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was it? Was it the Libra album that she had?
Yeah, that was the Libra album. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if it's that Libra album.
That's how she's like. That's
is that the one? Is that the one that's?
It was Breathe.
Girlfriend.
Yeah. No. That's not that one. That's the Heat. That's the Heat. But
did that the one hit the road, hit the freeway? Is that the hit the freeway one?
And then it's like, and then she's like, and then it was like, oh, it's please back up off of me, baby. Do you hear me? Yeah. So let me breathe.
Yes, that was 05. That was 05. Yeah. Okay. So let me play this throwback. We just gonna discuss Bruno Mars real quick with this Sexxy Red joint. I'm not playing this whole clip, but this was getting people upset back in the day.
Okay.
I hate this guy. The reason why I fucking hate Bruno Mars is because, like, yes, Bruno Mars 100% is a cultural appropriator. He is racially ambiguous. He is not black at all, and he plays up his racial ambiguity to be able to do what Jameer says, cross genres and go into different places. And you guys are bringing up Michael Jackson. Number one, me personally, like, I don't even think that Michael Jackson now in this day and age will be able to get to the point that he got previously.
Facts.
And a huge part of that is because people have realized that they prefer their black music and their black culture from a non-black face. Absolutely. And you have, so I'm talking, so you can, because I'm talking right now. And in a lot of different ways, and in a lot of different ways, we have artists now that are much more willing to step into quote unquote black genres that were not willing to do it when, like, they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to be in black music. Black music was seen a certain type of way. We've reached a point now where hip hop recently surpassed rock and roll as the most listened to genre in the United States. Black American culture has reached a certain point in this time period that it was not at when Michael Jackson was popping. Like, people had to campaign to get Michael Jackson's videos played on MTV.
Oh, MTV.
We are not in that same time period right now, so that's even a false equivalency to even try to bring up Michael Jackson's career and compare that to Bruno Mars. And I also want to say that Bruno Mars is not an original artist in the same way that Michael Jackson was an original artist, in the same way that Prince was an original artist. What Bruno Mars does is he takes pre-existing work and he just completely, word for word, recreates it, extrapolates it. He does not change it. He does not improve upon it. He does not make it better. He's a karaoke singer. He's a wedding singer. He's the person you hire to do Michael Jackson and Prince covers. Yet Bruno Mars has an Album of the Year Grammy and Prince never won an Album of the Year Grammy. So how you gonna say?
Wow.
So how you gonna say people that are originators in the funk genre, that are originators in the R&B, the New Jack Swing? Bobby Brown and New Edition don't have no Album of the Year Grammy. Bruno Mars got that Grammy because white people love him because he's not black, period. The issue is we want our black culture from non-black bodies. And Bruno—
What's up, y'all? Papa Long Legs.
Right. What you think about that, Dom? Before we talk about this new single, and I'll give mine, and then we're gonna do it next.
Okay. I feel like no, what she's saying is true. But also it goes back to not looking to white people for like acceptance. You know, if you really want to talk about something and we talk about metrics and numbers, and I remember years ago when I assisted in interviewing Juvenile at like Hot 104. I won like some contest, but he was saying like if you are gonna look to accolades or things like that, then the only thing that will really even make sense, because you can actually measure it, would be Billboard, because you have Nielsen's SoundScan that comes into play. So because Grammys didn't tell you something was Album of the Year numerically, Billboard, because they run those metrics, would make more sense. It should be a bigger deal. But I don't know, like I feel like it's a lot of hate there for Bruno. Like, you know,
it's a lot of hate there. It is definitely a lot of hate
there. And you could just not like somebody and that just be it, and you don't have to explain why. And like I said, like I can see how, you know, her point is valid, and like you can't compare him to Michael Jackson. You can't compare nobody to Michael Jackson
or Prince.
And you could even throw a Beyonce in there, because she was still in that era of where you had to buy physical copies of her albums, which you can still do nowadays, but she didn't come out in the streaming era. So the work looked different. The work ethic is different. The labels require different things.
But Bruno Mars does give a hell of a show, though. Let's not keep it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Bruno Mars I told you, he's a really dope performer.
Yeah.
Like the fact that everybody was waiting on that collab with him and Anderson .Paak to drop. You know, and like I told you, I was like, oh, I ran into Anderson .Paak at Soho House, and I was like, nigga, what's up? What we doing? When is the album dropping? You know what I mean?
It's a dope concept. I like it.
I think personally it took them too long to drop the shit. And I'm like, by the time that shit dropped, I'm like, we about to be back outside, but whatever. But honestly, it's an interesting take, and I can see how one could say that about him, but not when somebody has been very vocal and open about how they fell in love with music.
Yeah.
Like he's never not said that he didn't listen to any of those artists. I could see if it was just like, oh, I was listening only to Elvis. Because he, you know, like when he was performing as a kid in like, you know, restaurant stuff with his family, like that's what he was doing. But it was like, I like this more. I like this. I drew inspiration from here. So why can't that be a thing where he created his music? It wasn't the sound that he was dropping, even when he first dropped. That wasn't a sound that was out at that time. Like that, it was a different type of a pop. And then as he went into you know, his more R&B bag, you could hear, you know, like that new Jack Swing finesse, like, you know, on finesse with him and Cardi B, like where they drew inspiration from that. So nobody's saying that, oh, he's a cultivar, he's just a copycat, blah blah blah, when he's creating his sound to you, like the music takes you somewhere. It takes you back to a certain time and place. He ain't out here stealing words and songs word for word, because Who Do You Love, that YG song, Drake's verse is copied. Like that is a full-on verse that someone else had. I can't forget who.
You talking about Quentin Miller? Well, Quentin Miller did some other verses.
Well, it was that. Okay, well that. But someone did a matchup and was able to pull a song where that verse came from.
See, yeah, but we know Aubrey's doing that now. Now,
This isn't about Drake. This isn't about you, sir.
Yeah.
But I mean, and sometimes I need us to enjoy certain things for what it is. Everything don't deserve a think piece. Just like even now with one of them days, like one of them days or whatever, that Issa movie.
I heard it did well in box office.
I've seen it. I like it for what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't have but I told you I don't go into stuff anymore with expectations because I don't want to be disappointed. So even that, I might just have fucking fun. Just let it be. I don't always listen. It's bigger fish to fry than arguing about the fucking Grammy Awards, who have notoriously been known for exclusion. I don't want to argue about the Oscars when they are notoriously known for exclusion and being so white. Look what the fuck is happening outside of our windows. I'm not getting online to argue with you about some bullshit, some table, what you bring to the table. I don't give a fuck, nigga. This is your table that you think is this mahogany, you know, rich cherry wood, has termites.
But look, I'll say this. I know I feel some type of way about this new Bruno Mars track with Sexxyred though. I feel like he's reaching with this one.
I finally heard it for the first time yesterday in the shower.
Okay, what'd you think?
I thought it was more of a Sexxyred song than Bruno Mars. I felt like it was Sexxyred featuring Bruno Mars. Like
exactly.
So that's how it was presented. That's how it came across. So I was like, are y'all sure this is Bruno Mars featuring Sexxy and not the other way? Because like it felt like it was her song and he was just singing the hook.
Like I'm telling you, like it just felt like he was wave riding. It felt like he's wave riding, trying to get in on this Sexxyred thing now. All right, the little smooth stuff's over at Anderson .Paak. Time me to move over Not saying he's Drake now, y'all. Before somebody draw, I ain't saying he's Silver Surfer, aka Drake. Trying to write a style, but it just felt like, man, you're 40 years old and you're trying to do songs with Sexxyred, man, and doing it her style, not making her come up to your style. Like even when he did the song with Cardi B on for the was it 24, but it was on 24 Karat, the 42 Karat album.
It's Finesse.
Yeah, she rapped on his and she changed her rap style to fit with what he was doing. Yeah, he's doing a song called Wet, like it's all wet, squirting wet. My pussy wet. Like, come on, man. Be a grown man, Bruno.
I think what he's doing, you want to know what's interesting? He's doing kind of what Drake did. And everybody
Drake.
No. Because whereas it's not necessarily about, it's like a TikTok thing where everybody is doing this weird stuff to be trendy and clicky on TikTok. Instead of making authentically great music, that's what's happening. And so you have people, living off of a minute soundbite of a song. And that artist I was telling you about the one time where people actually, they went to the concert, but then didn't really know any of the words and didn't know any other songs, was Steve Lacy.
Oh, dang. Because he had that big TikTok song, didn't he?
And they didn't know any other words to that song because that's all you knew was that soundbite. So I challenge people when we talk about the because especially now, and you're gonna look for something to be, like happy in these dark times. I encourage y'all to show up for yourself and create what y'all want to create, and not because something is trending. And like Sexxyred is also very, already very controversial. And I haven't seen the visual for this video or whatever. I know somebody said,
"Oh, you haven't seen the visual? Oh, maybe that's what. Maybe that's what
was in. I was like, well, what the fuck? Why is she in it?
Oh, you ain't seen the visual. That's okay. Maybe that's because I saw the visual wouldn't they all in water and stuff together and like it's And Sexy's doing sexy stuff and he just sitting there like, yeah, get it sexy. Yeah. Like it's just weird, man. Maybe I'm just an old nigga because I just have a problem with old niggas don't decide that and it's not okay to it's okay to be an old nigga, but why are you being an old nigga?
Yeah, I mean, like I how it again. I'm in the shower and I'm wet. Listen to the song, but I have to see the visual to understand like why you're just so disgusted. Because to me, I told you,
that's strong. It just doesn't fit.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's what's hard too is staying true to your brand and originality, right? And just like
name it sounds Fat, Juicy, and Wet. I'm sorry, not just wet, Fat, Juicy, and Wet.
Oh well, okay. But when we talked about that one artist offline that never kind of really ventured out and stayed with R&B, and I think that's a tough thing to do. And sometimes people do stuff like you just looking for like a quick payday because they say that he owe people some money, so maybe he just looking like, oh, I could probably just do this real quick, cash some people out. I don't know if it's gonna cost him what that bill is, but you clearly trying to make a big comeback because I was mad that I missed the concert when he was on tour because that show, like I saw the clips. And maybe he's trying to do something different. You remember like how we talked about Usher trying to, kind of explore like experimenting in that little kind of ratchet R&B bag. And it was like, actually, no, this don't work for me. So let me go back over here and sing what I know. You think
he's saying like, maybe I can get it to pop.
Yeah. And once he realized that it don't, he'll be back.
You don't want the Sexxyred crowd. Like you don't want them there.
Yeah.
And no disrespect but I'm just saying those people are different than at the normal Bruno Mars concert. You don't want those people at your shows.
I don't think that they would even be at a Bruno Mars show.
They get them sexy there, maybe.
I mean,
would Bruno Mars do a tour with Sexxyred? That's a question.
That would be. I don't think. I think no. I don't think that will. No. Let's remember the date that, because if something is announced over the summer, then y'all could come back and be like, Daryl was right. But I think that would be really weird. Like, it made sense for her to open up.
Dom,
it made sense for her to
put
open
nothing past nothing no more.
I know, true, but it made sense for Sexxyred to open for Drake. That made sense. That wouldn't make sense.
Sexxyred's gonna be on tour with Bruno Mars this summer.
Because I don't know if that would even hurt ticket sales. That might hurt ticket sales.
Maybe he think he can get that ratchet side. That's what I'm saying. He may think I can do anything. I'm Bruno Mars. But Dom, where can people hit you up at? Before we leave, we'll give a shout out once again to the brothers from Love, Peace, and Spades that came on with us. Man, thank y'all is for coming through, hanging out with us. But where can people hit you up, Dom?
Y'all can find me at the St. Angeles Instagram, the TikTok, Blue Sky.
Are you on the other one?
I've been on fan base since it kind of dropped, when it first dropped during COVID.
Okay.
I was on there, so I'm gonna get back on there or whatever. Because I'm helping like Patrick and Persephone too, so now it's back on my phone because I forgot about it. Apparently, I might need to get back on Snapchat.
What?
I deleted Snapchat off my phone, and I wasn't even using it before.
Yeah, I did it like years ago.
I needed space on my phone.
Me too.
For the Beyonce concert. I deleted that shit off and never looked back.
But man, if y'all want to check out the live we did, go to St. Angelis's page, our SOLC Network. Check out the live we did with the Diddy, surviving Diddy, talking about the new Peacock episode, and we'll be back. Peace.